Jimmy White was making the headlines before he arrived at the Crucible for his first round match against Peter Francisco.
I had a bit of a scare. I had cancer in the left testicle, and I had to have it taken out. That was just before Plymouth, and I had a choice to have it. Well, my choice was to have it done after the championships and miss Plymouth, but the doctor said, you know, I had it done, and he said stay in bed for 5 days, but after 2 days I felt all right, so I went to Plymouth, which maybe wasn't a good idea, but, you know, it's actually gone now. I've got 95% plus clear, so, you know, I'm pleased to be here, and I've got that behind me now.
Jimmy White has won by a wide margin, 10 frames to 2, but if he's to mount a serious challenge for the title, he needs to improve a lot for his next match.
A convincing victory for White over Francisco, but that signalled the start of more problems for Jimmy after thousands of pounds worth of bets were placed on an exact 10-2 victory.
On Wednesday the 19th of April 1995, the Disciplinary Committee of the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association commenced an inquiry to establish whether there had been a breach of the association's rules. The committee accepted a submission that there was no case to answer against Jimmy White. And in view of the late hour, the inquiry will continue in respect of Peter Francisco on a date to be announced tomorrow.
When they found out that they thought there was something wrong with the game, it was White Francisco all over the papers everywhere, and you know, I hope Peter's innocent, but you know, I wanted to, you know, if I've won the match 10-2 and I'm being accused, so it was a bit of a liberty, but thankfully the WPBSA sorted it out, and I was cleared after the first day's meeting. Otherwise it'd have gone on. I've been playing on, you know, and people might think, you know, I miss a red or something, they think I've had a bet.
Andy Hicks faced a daunting task on his Crucible debut against 6-time world champion Steve Davis, but the Devonian wasn't overawed by the size of the job in hand.
"21-year-old Andy Hicks from Tavistock brings up the biggest shock of the championship so far and puts himself into the second round with victory at 10 frames to 7.
No excuse for it. If it doesn't happen in the World Championships, then you're out and I'm out.
I'm so pleased to have beaten Steve. You know, apart from him being, you know, one of the great champions of it, you know, at the Crucible. You know, it's nice to beat him here and do it in a bit of style, I suppose.
John Higgins came to the Crucible with high hopes after flying up the provisional ranking list. Winning 3 titles, including the Grand Prix, confirmed the young Scot as one of snooker's great new stars.
Hello?
But no sooner had he said
Hello?
than he was saying goodbye after falling to fellow Scotsman Alain McManus.
You know, a lot of people had told me that it was the place, but didn't do anything for me, you know what I mean?
In round 2, the veteran Willie Thorne was finding it hard going against the 21-year-old Andy Hicks. After a 10-minute safety exchange in the 16th frame, controversy was to hit the match.
We can't keep doing this all night, can we? So what I'll do, right, if I give you 8 shots each, that's more than enough in it, right? And get it sorted out. We've been on this for 10 minutes now.
I'm here for 3 hours.
I know that. 8 shots each. Okay, I'll count them.
I'm not accepting 8 shots, please. If I take 50 shots, I'm staying.
8 shots, all right? You count them, each.
Well, Willie went on to lose the frame and then the match, and he was still fuming during his press conference.
In the end of the day, the referee's not even considered like the situation of the match and the frame. He's just thought, oh, well, they've played 10 shots each, I'm fed up with this, you know, like, we'll have a re-rack, you know, which is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I'm a bit disappointed with the way Willie reacted, because, I mean, I think if he wasn't too huff and puff around the table so much, you know, he'd probably be a better player for it.
In the quarter-finals, Andy Hicks faced the ever-popular Peter Ebdon, now tipped as the championship's second favourite. Ebdon took the early lead.
That's a great shot.
But Andy Hicks proved his place in the last 8 wasn't a fluke.
And Peter gives him a warm shake of the hand, and really deserving of that applause. First bit of emotion he's shown this afternoon, and he's through to the semi-final at 13 frames to 8. What a great victory.
World champion Stephen Hendry was very relaxed after sailing through the early rounds, but he knew his quarter-final against Ronnie O'Sullivan was going to be tough.
Ronnie's probably the best that I've seen, you know, who can possibly take over, you know, and get to #1 in the rankings.
O'Sullivan lived up to his reputation.
That was a great shot.
But going into the final session, the champion was in dominating form, winning 4 frames on the trot.
So we must offer commiserations to the 19-year-old Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's come up against a world champion in the top form as Stephen Hendry puts himself into our semi-finals with victory at 13 frames to 8.
For Hendry, it was...
Just another match, wasn't it?
But for O'Sullivan, he had to...
I'm going to try and forget this as quickly as possible and get on with the next things in hand. Press that and punting's professional. I can't wait.
It was the 91 world champion John Parrott versus the Crucible's nearly man Jimmy White in the other quarter-final. Jimmy was back on form, and it turned out to be a real classic.
What a good pot that was, Ted. Oh, brilliant, John. Absolutely brilliant.
So John Parrott shakes Jimmy White's hand. One of the great Crucible matches. But the crowd's favourite, Jimmy White, comes through after a titanic battle at 13 frames to 11.
Sometimes you pot a great shot and someone goes, you know, and Jimmy breaks off and like the roof comes off, you know.
I was trying my orchestras off. I've only got one left, but I was trying them.
It was Nigel Bond in one semi-final against Tavistock's giant killer, Andy Hicks. Both were optimistic.
I've said it time and time before. I mean, the minute I've gone out playing, you know, here at the Crucible, for a minute I've started playing, I've felt more relaxed than any other ranking tournament, which is amazing, because I can't understand sort of why. Because, you know, for such a big event.
I'm looking forward to playing him. You know, I'm hitting the ball well. It's going to be an hard game. He's playing well. He played great against Peter Ebdon. But, you know, if I play well, then, you know, I'm capable of beating anybody.
Well, certainly his opponent, Andy Hicks, has had a magnificent World Championship, and he's had one very bad session against Nigel Bond in this match. But nevertheless, he's had a memorable 1995 World Championship, but it's Nigel Bond who goes into the final by 16 frames to 11.
But who was he going to face in the final? Could Jimmy White overcome his Hendry jinx, or would Stephen go through to his 4th final in a row? In the end, Hendry was as close to perfection as you can get.
Well, that's the worst shot he's played throughout the break. Didn't really get high enough. He could try and split them, but he's such a good long potter. I think it'll be a long blue into one of the corner pockets. Needed to run a little. So now blue into the yellow pocket, and if he gets this he will be pushing the pink toward the centre pocket. Well, the blue's there.
Great chance now.
Yes, and listen for the roar if this pink and black goes in. Slow down. Well, this would be a pressure shot to win a frame, but for a 147, I promise you, the pressure has got to be the greatest ever.
Maximum in Crucible history.
It was amazing. I've never, you know, been under so much pressure in my life. I was shaking so much. So even from those sort of last red, I think the fact that they split so nicely, and you know, I sort of expected myself to do it, put me under more pressure.
Yes, the story of Hendry's maximum, only the third we've ever seen. Then three of them on 14-1, Parrott, Doherty and Ebdon, and Ebdon's odds could change dramatically, I think, if he wins his first match. 25-1 McManus, 66-1 Barthose, 200 to Terry Griffiths. You can get 500 on some, but that's the future. This is the present, and we're going back to the match. There's Stephen Hendry, 6-0 up, and against Stefan Mazrocis. Hendry really in cracking form this morning, and Mazrocis finding it all a bit difficult, as so many have found here at the Crucible. It's a big hurdle for him. As Clive was saying, he really needs to get just one frame under his belt, and perhaps it could all change. You never know. Got a lot of work to do, Clive.
He certainly has, David. Choosing that red to play safe off in preference to others in order to open the black.
Well, that was a good solid pot from Stefan. Now, come on, Stefan, let's see you knock a few balls in.
Eight.
It gets a little bit embarrassing out there when you're sort of really struggling and you want to show the people what you can do.
9. $60. $70. $24. $25.
got plenty of reds to choose from. He's just making his mind up which one he wants to play for. There's no problem. He's got a nice angle on the black.
.32. Yes, in ordinary circumstances, he'd be thinking of winning the frame from here. But for him, these are no ordinary circumstances.
And he's left them just all a little bit awkward, having to bridge over an impeding ball.
.33.
4 reds, 4 blacks, but he's down for a blue now. He'll be starting to feel just a little bit better inside now.
.39.
He has got a lovely cue action, Clive. He strikes the ball very sweet indeed.
Yes, I look round the qualifying competitions and there are probably 200 players you look at and you think, doesn't he strike the ball well? Doesn't he hit it beautifully? He's got all the shots.
47.
It's just a case of being able to employ them at the right time. .52.
The secret is to leave the pots as easy as possible and having to use the rest. But his heart missed a little beat there as that went towards the pocket. I'll tell you what, Clive, if he goes on to win this frame, and he should do, there'll be quite a roar here from his supporters from Leicester.
Yes, and I think with the neutrals joining in as well, I think that everyone who comes here wants to see a player produce his best.
61.
And until this frame, Stefan Mazrocis hasn't been able to produce anything other than a shadow of his normal game.
All ages here at the Crucible Theatre. Indeed, you get whole families coming along and use it as a holiday to come to Sheffield for the World Snooker Championships.
.68. And that red means that Hendry needs a snooker. And with the dreaded whitewash averted,
74.
The possibility arises, the extraordinary possibility in view of what's gone before, that Mazrocis may make a century. Well, the kiss of death.
Mazrocis, 74.
It was slightly awkward having to place the rest by the blue, but I still expected him to get it. Never mind though, a 74 break is very satisfying for him the way things have been going.
That's a very nice jacket the referee's got on there. He'll feel a lot cooler now. Oh, what about that for a safety shot from Stephen Hendry? Well, I think he knows this frame's gone.
Yes, and being 6-0 up, I don't think he's too bothered.
Six. Seven. Forty. 50.
Couldn't quite hold from green for red.
80.
But the rest of this frame, academic now.
Well, I might as well have a little go at a double here. Or a treble. Well, anywhere will do.
Stefan Mazrocis, 18 on the clock.
So, Stephen Hendry concedes, and Stefan Mazrocis sits down feeling like a snooker player again. A break of 74 has got him off the mark. He has a...
The newcomer to break.
Well, there may be a plant on to the middle. Stefan had a look at it. Just at the back of the pack, to the right of the pack. But with them going up the other end of the table, I don't think it's on. Had another look at it.
Not far out, but may have left a red now to the right middle.
3. 4.
Didn't hit the pink full ball this time. Almost went in off.
Stephen Hendry 9.
Yeah, I think he got a bad contact. I was amazed at first to see how much he missed the red by, but referee's cleaning the cue ball, so that tells us he did get a bad contact through the red off line.
Ronnie.
Just managed to stop the cue ball short of the baulk line to give easy access to a baulk colour.
Five.
Black's a little bit tied up there, and the pink's blocking the path for a red into the same pocket. That's thinking a couple of shots ahead. Oh, he was playing to get on the pink to clear it out of the way, but that was a very bad miss. Don't think there was a bad contact there, Clive. It just a pure miss.
One.
Hendry's initial red has opened up the black by kissing into another red.
8.
And I think he'll want to finish the match off in this frame, if he possibly can.
9.
He doesn't want to have to sit around through the 20-minute mid-session interval. He wants to get out of the arena, into his press conferences, back to the hotel.
$60.
Wasn't the best positional shot he played. He's close to this red, but you still got to fancy him.
70.
Wow, worked a treat. Not only potted it, but look at the position, and look what he's done with the red balls. I think you might be right, Clive.
Yes, it was a lovely Catherine wheel effect.
24.
As he potted that red, spinning off 3 or 4 other reds for perfect position.
Catherine Wheel, she was quite a good player, Clive, wasn't she, in her day?
Well, you might have known her, Dennis, but I think it was before my time.
32. 33. 40. 41.
Stephen Hendry started his defence of the World Championship in the first frame with a break of 90.
47.
He likes to do things in style. Is he going to clinch the match with quite a substantial break?
Yes. 54.
When Hendry was 6-0 in front, it seemed quite on the cards that we were going to see the second whitewash in the Crucible's history. One to go with John Parrott's of Eddie Charlton 3 years ago.
55.
But Mazrocis managed to avoid the whitewash. It's got 3 frames on the board, but that's going to be it.
62. 63.
Stephen made all his bigger breaks at the start of
68.
this match. He had a 90 in the
69.
first, 128 in the second, 69 in the fourth.
76.
5 over 30,
77.
4 over 50 and a century.
83. 84.
Well, he's flying around the table. I think he... well, maybe he's got to go to the toilet,
87.
Clive. You never know.
89.
'But a lot of experience
92.
gained for young Stefan Mazrocis. I'm sure he'll be back at the Crucible in the years to come.
96. 107.
Stephen Hendry started with breaks of 90 and 128. He's finished with one of 114 and has beaten Stefan Mazrocis by 10 frames to 3.
What?
5.
Now, Mark Davis started this 8th frame with a break of 72. He's done nothing since except perhaps struggle. Must hit this.
Yes, I was right behind the line of that one. Just had enough room to get past the black to come off the one cushion without using side. And he only just scraped the pink. Oh, this is a good shot.
Oh, this is a cracker. What a beauty, John.
But if you can get to the right-hand side of the table, just past the middle pocket, which he's looking at now, you wouldn't expect him to miss this. Oh, he's having to swerve. It's not as easy as it looks.
Oh.
This is a big frame now. This is a mammoth frame. Yes, when Mark Davis led 72-0 with only 67 on the table. You'd never have expected this. Oh, and that's a poor safety shot from Ken. So...
Oh, all his hard work has been thrown away with one shot as he shakes his head there.
Played it hard, trying to get the cue ball back down the table. He's under a little bit of pressure. He thought this frame was in the bag. I must admit though, Ted, so did I.
Yes. Tried to get in behind the pink and didn't quite make it. Another chance for Mark Davis.
Building himself up for this one. This is a big shot. He can't afford to lose this frame.
Yes. Well, it was a struggle.
And those particular pots, they're going straight in the centre of the pocket. You would expect him to be quite tense at the moment, but he looks relaxed.
Yes, he looks as cool as the proverbial cucumber, Dennis, doesn't he?
Although he hasn't gotten himself into ideal position in this little effort. He's having to pull out good pots each time. This time he's got to pull out a good positional shot. A lot of screw on the cue ball. Oh.
28, Mark Davis.
He hasn't missed many of those. It's understandable. He knows he only needs the one frame. He can get onto the black can, but he's got to be so precise with his screw back here. Just short of where the white is at the moment would leave him on the black. Well,
one.
He's gone all the way up for blue. Can he get on the black this time? He needs it in play.
6. Seven.
As we said before, Ken Doherty's not going to give up without a fight. Great battler.
$14. 15.
Now, has he left it short? Played for the red to the left of the black.
20.
If he's on it, it's a great chance. If he's left it short, he'd be very disappointed. Just another fraction, he could have potted that red and just cannoned into the two reds to the left of it. But I think he's left himself a little bit short.
Yes, it would appear so, Dennis. And that means there's nothing there at all to go at.
20, Ken Doherty.
Ken Doherty in the early part of the season would have knocked the lot in there. And once again, a red finding its way through to the pocket, but has he covered it this time?
Yes, one red covering the other. Wonder what's going through that mind of his. Is it back to the drawing board for me?
Well, he's coming off the cushion to try and pot this one.
Oh. And a miss.
Well, he's called a miss,
Ken
which he has to do, the referee, but Ken can get through to that red. So is this the turning point for Ken Doherty? Well, a little bit of a quickness in his step there.
One.
Now, is he going to take the bull by the horns here and knock the blue in, screw back for a red? Well, he's still got to pull another good shot out. Needs the rest. He can stun this red in, leave the black into the same pocket.
Seven.
Well, he's gone up the other end of the table. Interesting choice.
Yes, I think he's gone a trifle too far for that blue in a way. Looking at the two lower colours, but he's back for the blue.
Well,
he may play a little cannon when he pots this red, just to free the other two reds.
$13. $20. $21. $28.
Had a quick glance at the scoreboard as he walked around the table there. won't need the red
9.
that's next to the pink. You can get the black, the red on the top cushion, another black, he would be safe.
$36.
This red would put him 33 in front. With a possible 35 on the table, but he has the black to follow.
37. $44.
A satisfying look at the scoreboard.
$44. Ken Doherty.
So, a little satisfaction on the face now. He's saved the match, I feel. Mark Davis wanting 2 snookers.
Just looking at the position of the balls, Ted, he's still in with a chance.
Yes, they're very favourable for snookering.
Doesn't really want to pot this last red. Mark Davis wants to keep it on the table, and should he get a snooker, there's always a chance of a free ball, which virtually gives you an extra red on the table. Wow. I don't think he can get past the yellow, Ted.
No, it's one way of getting a snooker. And it's not too easy either with the green at the bottom there.
And the black's slightly hampering him coming off the side cushion. Yeah, he just couldn't make the angle there, so...
Foul 4. Mark Davis.
Oh, dear me. What's going to happen next in this match?
Needs one more snooker.
One.
Well, I can't understand that.
Well, I think the fact that he only needs the one snooker now, Ted, means that he can get the snooker on the yellow. If he plays this right, he can... Well, he wanted to be a little further right, and he could have just rolled in behind the blue.
7. Nine.
The only problem with each colour that he pots, he's reducing his chances of that snooker.
Nine. Mark Davis.
A little bit short. This should be the end.
Yes, Ken Doherty makes no mistake there.
Seven.
And going on to take the colours and so save the match for the first time.
12.
Still 2 frames down. But still in the match.
18 frames.
Davis leads 9 frames to 7 now.
And this near capacity audience at the Crucible, thoroughly appreciating quality of the play. They'll be willing this one in. Never mind. What a great start.
Between the balls. Wow, and he's coming off at least 3 cushions. There's the 3rd. There's the 4th. How's about that then? Well, he's done everything, and I think the most important thing, he's pleased those people out there. And that's what professional sport should be all about, entertaining the spectators. And certainly Ronnie O'Sullivan and Dave Harold have done that this afternoon.
And certainly, John, none of the spectators have moved from the seats this afternoon while these two have been performing. It's been absorbing stuff. All ages, and they haven't moved at all. Oh, well, I know there's no pressure on it, but it was still a wonderful putt. Now then, Dave Harold has come into the table again, but he wants one more snooker now.
Well, Dave Harold making a real fight of it live here.
28.
I think that he's done enough to show that he's in with every chance of winning here in the next fortnight. Dave Harold 59 points behind now with just 51 on the table.
One.
So we've seen everything from Ronnie O'Sullivan yesterday and today. Sheer brilliance, as you saw then. Some great tactical play. All done very nonchalantly.
8.
You like to watch? And I thought this may well be a close match with Dave Harold because he's a great player, but Ronnie O'Sullivan has shown his class today and yesterday. He outclasses Dave Harold.
Watching the 4.
It's a very, very thin contact to get the white back down the table.
Alain Robidoux 20.
So he's within 22 points now. Possible 43 points on the table.
The brown's a nice target for Terry to try and get the cue ball behind. I suppose the green's not bad either. The only thing with that shot that Terry's played, he did bring the black into play, which will help Alain if he does get a chance. He's got Terry in a spot of trouble here. He can't hit the red near the black spot, and it's not easy to get back down the table off the one on the left side cushion, so he's going to have to work out a good shot here. And with having a 22-point lead, he doesn't really want to move that red that's safe on the side cushion, but he's going to have to. Needs a very thin contact. He's got to watch the double kiss.
Now they're all on for Alain.
One. Eight. Nine.
He's got to make sure and leave a nice angle 60 on the green after potting the yellow so that he can just drop over behind the brown ball.
Oh, I say.
And Robidoux 16.
I was about to say that the Canadian has a new lease of life.
Well, that's unforgivable to miss a chance like that. It looked as if he played it with a little bit of side to hold for the green.
Two.
Yes, he'll never forgive himself for that.
Terry now needs the green, the brown and the blue to put him into the next round, where he would meet Gary Wilkinson.
Five.
Nasty little angle, this. Line pocket.
The middle pocket. Now is well clear of that. 9.
Yes, that's 20 points ahead now. Just the pink required then. It's not there.
Terry Griffiths 14.
But Alain wants a couple of snookers. There's the time for the match. It's been a long, hard struggle. He's tried so hard, fought so bravely. The pink's disappearing. The match is over. Terry Griffiths has fought very, very hard indeed and defeats Alain Robidoux 10 frames to 6.
Well done, Ted. Terry Griffiths now plays Gary Wilkinson in the second round. And that is it. We shall be back here in, my goodness, just about 10 hours from now. 11:35 on the...
Well, is the pressure beginning to show? That was some distance off. Now a chance for John. One of the problems, of course, is the green on the black spot, so he's going to, at some stage, you have to play from yellow to green and then right the way back down for the brown on the vault cushion. What he could do, of course, and I think it would be the right shot, is to play for the green off this red.
One.
Well said, John. I think he must have been listening, and he's got a perfect angle on the green. So what a chance here for John Parrott to take this frame and the match. Well, he's finished the wrong angle on the yellow for comfort. It's still on, but a bit more to do to manoeuvre the cue ball round 2 or 3 cushions, and Brian Morgan just, well, wondering whether he's going to get back again.
Six.
I think if John knocks the green in, the only chance for Brian would be the brown, which could be a little tricky down the cushion.
Yes, well, the way John's cueing at present, I certainly fancy him to go on and clinch it at this visit.
Six. John Parrott.
The commentator's kiss of death.
What a good shot. But having said that, I think John can get through the gap. I don't know what he's going to do, because he certainly wouldn't be able to hold for the brown. But there you are, just into the 7th hour of some very hard grinding snooker. Well, he went fully for that. Whether it was wise or not, we'll never know, but Brian Morgan now 11 points ahead. Green, brown and blue.
Three.
Well, he's left himself a bit to do with the brown. A little tricky. Well, that surprises me a little. It wasn't an easy pot, but it was a chance to win the frame. You often don't get another one.
Yes, I always feel when you play those sort of shots, you're wanting your opponent to lose the frame. Had Brian just potted the brown there, it would have certainly been over.
So 18 points in front. 18 on the table. Does he go for this blue? This right corner, and does he play safe? The way he can pot, I think he should go for it. So again,
4, Brian Morgan.
it wasn't an easy pot, but he's going to wait for another chance.
Well, this time, a blue that Brian can't refuse. Has to go for this pot. Well, that's giving John another good chance. Not much angle on the blue here. These are not easy.
5.
So how are we going to have a respotted black to decide this match?
$11.
Well, here we go then. So 55 points each. Referee put the black on its spot, take a coin out of his pocket, spin it up, and whoever wins is almost certain to put the other guy into bat.
Sorry? Tail, red. Okay.
So Brian Morgan, having had 2 or 3 chances there perhaps to win this frame and stay in the match, has got it to do on this respotted black. Well, that's got to be a tempter, John.
Yes, certainly not what Brian intended. He intended the black halfway up the cushion, but this is no give me.
Well, it's taken a long while, but John Parrott's pass probably showed in the end. And he goes through a deserving winner by 10 frames to 5.
In the white, okay.
Weatherly there holding the blue spot. Blue now coming on the highest available, which is a
31.
black. And when he plays the red into the left corner, that blue will be nicely available. Frame winning chance this.
$32.
confident shot, that one. Blue was a lot easier.
38.
But he knew that the pink would give him better position on the red. And that's confident thinking. He's looking good.
$45.
Watching intently.
46.
So this time
51.
the 51 break comes from the tip of the cue of Peter Ebdon. But he looks as though he's going to carry on.
52. $58.
Just this red in a colour.
59.
Well, a little bit straight maybe on the blue, but he only needs the blue. Pink would give him position on the next red. And that's the ball he's playing. So he is full of confidence. After a shaky first frame.
65.
All guns blazing, and he made this with an excellent opening red. I'm sure when Lawler
66.
played his safety shot, he didn't think he was going to sit down for the rest of the frame. This is an excellent break from Peter Ebdon.
$72. $73.
Break goes to 79 as he comes to the last red.
79. $80. $87.
Only the green away from its spot. And just the 6 colours to go.
89. $92. $96. $101.
Terrific performance then by Peter Ebdon.
107.
107 on the
The break
frame.
of 107 gives him the second frame, and the match is all square at 1 frame each.
Yeah, in terms of the way that was constructed, the amount of work put into it, I think that's one of the best breaks of the championship so far. Peter Ebdon won the match 10 frames to 2. He went on into the second round and he came up against his stablemate, Mark Davis, and Ebdon really had to work hard. He was behind at the end of the first session. He did get back on terms, but he still had to win quite a few frames from behind.
Oh, that's a little gem. Right in behind the green. Good thing as well, because he'd sent a red towards the middle pocket there, as you can see.
Foul and a miss. Mark Davis 4.
Well, I wasn't too sure which red he was trying to hit there, Dennis.
Well, if Mark doesn't take this red on, we might find out, Clive, because he'll have it put back again. The miss was called. I think he might be better putting it back. Anyway, he's got to knock this in. I think I would have had it put back, Clive.
Yes, I think it would have been wiser, because the three reds were so wide apart and all in potable positions, and the cue ball was so tight in behind the snookering ball that the chances of coming out safe are very slight indeed.
One.
He's right back in the frame now. Just doing a quick calculation.
8.
If Peter was to carry on potting a few balls, he would need the difficult pink if he could get that far. And I'm sure Peter Ebdon will have worked that out in his mind.
Nine.
That's why he took that opportunity to develop the pink, knowing that he was going to be on choice of yellow or brown.
And if Peter Ebdon was to go on and take this frame,
11.
At the end of the match, there's always a frame you can pick out that turns a match round. This might just be that frame.
$12.
Yes, if he does complete a winning clearance, it will put Ebdon in front by 2 frames for the first time in the match.
18. $20. 23.
Well, he's a little
27.
strong with the white, so a little bit more work to do now. Potting the blue back up for the pink. Be interesting to see the reactions of Peter Ebdon if he should open a two-frame gap. I think he'll be very pleased with his effort here.
Meanwhile, Davis sits there glumly, wondering whether he should have had the cue ball replaced when there were 3 reds left.
$32.
When Ebdon missed a snooker attempt, snooker escape by such a margin that miss was called.
$38. $45 on the frame, Peter Ebdon.
After Davis's dubious tactical decision, Ebdon clears up from 3 reds out with 45 to win the frame on the black and lead by 6 frames to 4.
Wow, Mr. Peter Ebdon came onto the scene with the ponytail, came as an oval player, and has now certainly made his mark as a snooker player, I think, John, without any doubt at all.
Oh yes, and a great competitor. He did have a reputation in the amateur days that he was a very attacking player, went for everything. But he's now controlled his game, and I was very impressed in that match. He has taken over the mantle as favourite for that half of the draw with the exit of Steve Davis. And sometimes that can be a hard cross to carry, you know. But
He's joint second favourite for the title.
yeah, but he handled it very well, particularly against Mark Davis. As you say, in the first session, Mark Davis played really well, but he dug in, and well, as I say, he's certainly a lot of people's idea now, the winner.
Dennis, the emotion which he portrays, he's hyped up every ball as the winning ball. The old air punches come out and he pulls them out, and I know, as I was saying, a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, personally, I don't particularly like it. If you win a tournament, then it's fine. In the Masters against Stephen Hendry, Peter sort of raised his cue up before he potted the winning ball and was punching and growling.
But it's emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you might agree with it. I certainly don't. I think if it happened at golf, sometimes I think he goes over the top. Mentally, Peter Ebdon's the strongest player that's ever been in the game. He focuses. I've never known a player to focus so well. And I think if it was golf, he'd be fine for
He's not the first player to show emotion, certainly, in an Embassy World Championship. And just have a look at this from the archives, will you? Mr. Steve Davis, 83. That wasn't an air punch, that was an air headbutt, I think. And there was 85, I think, when you were involved. And go on. And that went on for a little bit longer, and I think you actually pointed at somebody. What were you pointing at?
Yeah, I was pointing at Trevor East, telling him I told you I'd win the final, or words to that effect.
Well, you'll never rob anybody of emotion and everything else, and Peter Ebdon never goes, no matter which way you play the game.
If Peter wins it, he can stand on his head and do whatever he wants.
Right, okay, that's done. So that's the big 3 we've been talking about, according to the bookies. Hendry, O'Sullivan and Ebdon. Who else? Who else are you at? Well, Jimmy White. He's got the sort of season you don't want. He hasn't played the best snooker by any means. He's dropped from 4th to 8th in the provisional rankings. He had surgery for cancer. Then he got involved in a match with Peter Francisco here, which he won, but there was an alleged betting scam. There was an inquiry and everything else. Peter Francisco is still being investigated by the governing body here, but as for Jimmy, well, he's had the all clear on both counts, both from the doctor and from the WBSA disciplinary committee. And he talked to me about all this.
When they found out that they thought there was something wrong with the game, it it was White Francisco all over the papers everywhere, and, you know, I hope Pete is innocent. But